let's do some news. My name is Mike, aka Phony. Today's date is March 8th, 2023. The time is a little after 3 o'clock Pacific time. Welcome everybody to the news. Welcome my lovely chat right over here. Thank you so much for joining me. We've got some leftover news from like Monday or so. So it's like, it's like 2 days old, but it's still pretty good. We gotta go over it. We have some new stuff. Actually, let me see. First, since we're talking about AI stuff, I want to go ahead and mention this. We have an AI Darnell. It's on, but we'll see how we're gonna use it. Hey Darnell, do you want to introduce yourself? Now, that's going to take a second to process, but you should see like a pop-up. This is for YouTube. Obviously, everybody here has already seen all this, but for the YouTube folks, they probably have not seen that. So we have a system in that allows us to talk to a Darnell character using a bunch of prompts and a bunch of AI shit and a bunch of like crazy voice and all that. Here you see this is gonna read here. Oh, it looks like it's coming through here.
Name's Darnell. Just got teleported here from Azeroth. Trying to learn about this real world.
So there's a lot of settings that I've been kind of like messing with, trying to figure out like what prompt works best for him to keep him from obsessing over World of Warcraft or keep him from basically harping on things. Because when you put something in there, he tends to harp on it. So I'm trying to figure out how to and maybe it requires more story, like more in-depth story or something to keep him kind of in line. But so far it's been working pretty good. The tool is actually made by Jordan, aka Banana, aka Woofy, and Top, aka Top Every Day. So these guys are the ones that put it together. Thank you so much. It's amazing. It runs the entire TTS system that we have right now. Shit is pretty rad. That's right, Jordan Bannon. That's right, Jordan Bannon. So on that note, there's even more. A couple episodes ago, we talked about the Seinfeld AI show that they were running, and of course, we've had new shows that have popped up. One of them is a SpongeBob show, and I have a clip here. Now that we're past the 15 seconds for YouTube ad revenue, we could play this. So here we go. A few moments later.
Hey, Patrick. I've been thinking about sex a lot lately.
Yeah, me too. SpongeBob, I'm in. What's the big deal? We're both dudes.
Yeah, it just feels so good to have someone inside me.
I know what you mean. It feels great to be filled up by a big guy like you.
We don't have to watch the rest. But this shit is poison! It's poison! I knew it! All the fanfics come true! It's hot? Hold on a second. That's how you demonetize a YouTube video in 30 seconds. Hey, we're after the cutoff. We're after the cutoff. So speaking of, there is indeed some changes coming to the YouTube policy, what you can say, what you can't say. This is a pretty succinct tweet here. Keeps everything wrapped up. It says all curse words are no longer treated the same. And I apologize. I'm still recovering. Cold from like 10 years ago. Moderate profanity at any time can get the green icon. So moderate profanity, I'm guessing that's like shit ass bitch, something. And then F-bomb in the first 7 seconds or repeatedly can receive limited ads. I want you to know that time that we said fuck like 100 times in that one news episode, I believe it is still monetized. So I don't think there's too much of a problem with that. Wait, did I monetize that or did I skip it because I was scared? I can't remember. One of the two. So background music profanity can now get ads. I guess that was a thing. So if you had background music that was playing a lot of profanity, then it would not get an ad, which is kind of silly, right? Does it say does saying it twice count as repeatedly? I don't know. So there's gonna be a lot of that, right? A lot of that where it's like, well, does it really mean this? Does it really mean this? This is definitely them kind of softly stepping back from the previous policy, which made it seem like you almost could not curse anymore. Here's their actual policy here, their guidelines. It says we updated our guidelines for inappropriate language, profanity, for example, the F word used in the first 7 seconds or majority of the video may earn limited ad revenue rather than no ad revenue. So that's one big difference, is that you would still get limited ad revenue, which means I guess the video would only play in places where you could say fuck, or advertisers are okay with the word fuck or something. I'm not sure. If you're using profanity in the background, you're just gonna get DMCA'd anyways. They say uses of words like bitch, douchebag, and asshole and shit in the video content is eligible for green icons. Profanity used in the first 8 to 15 seconds may now earn ad revenue. And we've also clarified our guidance on how profanity in music is treated. And then that's what I just described. The previous ones are still here. Previously it was a little more strict with like what they could do within the first 7 to 15 seconds or whatever. And so some people were saying 30 seconds, but I think what I read was like 7 to 15 seconds or whatever, because it was kind of weird gap. It was like, well, if we feel like it at second 12, we could go ahead and block your video from receiving ad revenue because you said douchebag or something like that. So how do they treat the C word? Is it okay if my channel is Australian? You know, that's a great question. I don't know. I'd imagine probably treated all the same. Wait a minute. No, that's wrong. So I don't know. They need like a curse word lookup or something. But then if they did that, then they would know. Then we would all know what they're looking for. YouTube just incentivizing everyone to have longer intros. Exactly. There is this one. It was like the blank effect, and it was basically what it meant was whenever you go to a YouTube video, if you skip the first like 25 or basically a third of the video, you would get to the actual relevant content because you skip all the bullshit in the beginning. So yeah, imagine having hard rules for things. Yeah, but if you have hard rules for things, the people will know how to exploit it. So and also you don't have any flexibility because somebody might come up with some new creative way to be offensive, and it's like, well, it's not in our rules, so we can't do anything about this. But usually there's a catch-all for that. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. They're also, from YouTube, this is a good change. They're also changing how ads are being delivered, or what kind of ads are being delivered to what platforms. So as of April 6th, overlay ads will no longer appear on videos or as an option in YouTube Studio. And then overlay ads, and April 6th, shit, that's like a month. Overlay ads are desktop only, so we expect to see limited impact for most creators with engagement shifting to other ad formats, meaning that it's probably just not a viable thing that they can do or they could sell for mobile. It's just probably just not a good experience. So no changes to any of our other ad formats. So these are good changes. You know, overlay ads, this is one less ad type you have to fumble through. Keep it all the same. Keep it the same across platforms. I don't know exactly how it's going to. I mean, they said it's not going to expect. It's going to have limited impact on creators. So I mean, if it's not the case, I don't know if anybody's like tracking exactly how much they get from very specific ads, because I don't think overlay ads are their biggest earners, anyways. Does anybody remember that like 2-hour ad that was a documentary? Yeah, there was a couple of things like that where they would just use an entire video or something as their ad, and it was like if you didn't click skip or whatever and just let it run, you would be sitting there watching the ad for the entire video. And speaking of news, Nissan made an hour lo-fi vid ad. Amazing. It's brilliant marketing. Yeah, I've had those. I screenshot the damn thing because it was insane. All right. So, does anybody play CSGO? Anybody? So check this out. Somebody, Gabe follower, content creator for CSGO, noticed in a recent update, it says something weird has happened. Latest NVIDIA drivers introduced support for unknown app executables called CSGOs2.exe and CS2.exe. why project is called Counter-Strike 2, and what are you cooking, CSGO? I remember a year ago they kept trying to show a 45-minute TV show about a lady working at QVC. Actually, I watched it a couple times. An ad? That's amazing. So CSGO could have potentially been, or CSGO 2, or CS2, whatever it's going to be called, could have potentially been leaked by NVIDIA via their profile inspector. There's previous instances of this happening with other titles that never got released, like Just Cause 4 or something like that, or Crisis 7 or something, and games that basically never reached fruition or anything. But there's also other examples, I guess, of games that have been leaked and that have come out. So it's kind of like maybe not. It seems awfully specific to include support for CS2, CSGO 2. And see, I think I have some more information on here. It said, we checked all the drivers for the last few months, and it looks like it appeared somewhere in February. You could check it for yourself by opening a video control panel and clicking and unticking this box in your 3D settings. So there you go. If you want to go and see it on your very own computer with your updated drivers, then you can go and see that. So it was by Richard Lewis, who is an infamous games journalist, says that according to sources, yes, Counter-Strike 2 is real and it's around the corner. So after years of rumors, teases, leaks, data mining, and disappointments, Valve is ready to shake the world with the beta release of Counter-Strike 2. Then he goes on to basically detail some of the stuff that I already showed you, as well as talk about some of his own sources that have said that it is true, it is happening. I also want to point out that I did find this tweet of a popular CSGO content creator, esports person, that said, I think you all should know I'm going to be AFK for a few days towards the end of this month. So I think the people are putting it together that there's probably going to be a release, a new release coming up. At the very least, there will be a beta or something that we might get some information on for those of you guys who are interested in playing some CSGO. CSGO has apparently been just growing in popularity. Like it's an old game, but it still manages to just continue to bring in folks. It's a solid game. I mean, the gameplay hasn't really changed much. It's solid. So if it's one of those things, like if it's not broke, don't fix it. Also has like billions and billions and billions of like skins and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I have no idea what that would mean if you get a part 2, like bringing it over. People have like a ton of investments in that game. So is that mostly going to be the same massive better graphics? I know CS players don't like things that change gameplay wise, right? Yeah. So that's the other thing too. It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So what could they possibly bring to the table that's going to be any better and an improvement on the original? More maps could have just gone to the original, right? Updated graphics. Well, everybody kind of has their own graphic settings they run anyways, usually not at max because they want to eliminate, the distractions or, things they don't necessarily need when they're playing, a high reaction time game. More guns. Yeah, more guns. Money has been deposited. The game in its win. You'll get control of real soldiers, like in that movie, The Gamer. Oh man, who was that in that one? That was wasn't that 300 dude in that? I saw that too. How funny. Gerard, that's right. Gerard Butler. That's right. That's what it was. Yeah, I did see that movie. Funky. That didn't that come out around the same time as like Surrogate or something? I feel like we had a number of movies that came out within like a few years period that were all about like out of body or something like that. Like some kind of weird, like somebody's controlling you or you're not in your own real body or whatever the hell. Which could all be true. It could all be true. We could live in a simulation. It's very possible. Speaking of first-person shooters, though, there is a. Let me step over here. Let me go. There's Fortnite Creative Games is kind of like a game, kind of like a Forge for Halo, but for Fortnite, right? I would say probably I guess probably because of the popularity of Roblox and having a game development platform built into your game, it's creating, a lot of content for them because of the ease of use, the ease of access and all that. So Fortnite, they have their creative mode that came out a couple years ago and people are doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I haven't really followed. There's like videos you could follow about, the best, like 10 best, like game room codes or whatever. So you could go and have, try these experiences. This one stuck out It was tweeted by Jake Lucky, who's somebody I followed, covers a lot of esports stuff. But I just thought visually, I was like, wow, I've never been interested in Fortnite until seeing this video. It's just first-person Fortnite. But it doesn't look bad, you know? Kind of looks like Apex Legends in a way. So yeah, it's shit like this. Kids making their own games. Like, I'll make a CS:GO in it. By the way, apparently this map is also yeah. I was gonna say I wasn't 100% sure, but apparently this map, yeah, Rust. So they're just recreating their own bullshit. This really ties into to top that whole like video thing that I still have in progress, but about Roblox just like creating insane copies. I don't know, like inspired by games that are at times as good as the original, or at least like you know, they kind of like align with them pretty quickly or pretty easily. It's like, holy shit, this looks like blank, or this looks like whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, people are making their own crazy stuff in it. It's the new hottest thing, user generated content. No one's ever done that before. Also talking about Fortnite. This is a professional esports Fortnite player. So he's 13. And this is Jake Lucky on the right. And they're talking about Adderall usage, or in the case of esports, performance enhancement drugs, and how they're used in competition. And I thought that it was, to hear it from this kid's, you know, perspective, it's kind of like, fuck. But take a listen.
Oh yeah, speak of the devil. You know, it's tough seeing, it's a young space, Fortnite is, and there's always, let's be honest, there's always rumors around every scene about Adderall and other uses out there. What are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, y'all are young. You know, I don't think those kind of things should be being abused. But you know, you're in a weird space where it's like, if that helps performance, you're gonna see people taking advantage of those things that maybe should not be taken advantage of, especially at a young age. So, what are your thoughts about that when it comes to the Fortnite space?
I don't think that, obviously there's people who take Adderall who aren't prescribed it, but I think most people who take Adderall in esports are prescribed it. They just go way over their dosage. I know people who have 3x their dosage for a tournament before, and I'll say they played really well. So listen, it's no joke. You obviously don't want to do that, but I think that's more common than people actually getting Adderall that's not prescribed to them and taking it, or they take someone else's prescription. That's definitely more common. And I think in some other games where the players are a bit older, like Counter-Strike or Valorant, the Adderall usage is much higher because people know how to get access to that.
P.S. I thought it was kind of funny. It's like an older demographic, like Valorant. It's like, oh yeah, it's all of us old people playing these games. It's like, yeah, that's an old person's game, Valorant.
But not as much in Fortnite as people just doing more than they're prescribed.
Yeah, so it makes sense. You know, a lot of, you know, esports players are young, right? And for Fortnite, they skew younger. So this is the demographic that would normally be just flat out prescribed Adderall. And so they would be the ones to triple their prescriptions. I know some of you guys are on Adderall, so you wouldn't necessarily want to just take 3 pills one day, would you? Those old 15-year-olds, yeah. Most of the major first-party tournaments leagues have mandatory PED testing. Oh, I mean, this might be a good question for our boy here. Hey, Darnell, do you think that Adderall should be considered a performance-enhancing drug for gaming esports? We'll see if he answers that, but that should be a good one. It'll be probably very succinct, but let's see. It's gonna be some bullshit answer, I know it. If I take above my dose of meds, I feel like shit. Yeah, I know a lot of people when they take, yeah, especially with Adderall, you take a lot, you end up getting like zooked out of your brain. Oh, here we go. Here it comes. Better Fortnite doping, things I never thought I'd hear. Poking the bear with that question. Well, we'll see. You think I could be, but it'd be a lot. Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, is that performance-enhancing drugs, Adderall is not really considered.
Adderall should be avoided for fair play. Ain't right to use drugs for getting an edge in these sports.
In the sports. Thank you, Darnell. So yeah, esports, please. I'll teach them that. Don't worry about it. I'll fix them later. Yeah. Taking over your dose when you say, like, why would they do that? It's because they're kids. They don't know any better, right? They just think, well, 1 works great. 3 would probably work 3 times as great. They don't think about the whole, like, your brain just getting fried and all that shit. And why did he turn Mexican? It's sports. It's sports. Anytime you have a competitive sport, esports, with money on the line, people will do whatever they can to get away with it to win. Yeah, even in the comments on this video, a lot of the discussion was like, what the fuck? Yeah, here we go. So when is Adderall going to be prohibited in esports? In sports, some of us are playing for 6+ figure prize pools. Organizers should take the initiative and create a better competitive environment. I could see this being, since 2007. I'm walking to the bathroom, MLG. Yeah, Halo console, like Halo console. Oh, Halo competitive sports, like that's probably the origin of like Adderall doping for performance enhancements and all that. And make baseball interesting again. Everyone roy it up. Well, there was a time when people would take these performance enhancing drugs. At the time, they were controversial, but not necessarily illegal. And now we look back on some of those things. And we're like, wow, I can't believe we let our athletes use blank or do whatever. Doesn't apply to steroids. We knew from the get-go that was bad. But I think there's other drugs and stuff that people used to take for that. So, and Quake tournament. Oh, Quake tournaments. Okay, we'll have a fight between the Quake tournament people and the Halo people. We're feeling that this is because, like, what if you genuinely need it? So yeah, that's the thing. If you genuinely need it, how do you test on like how much somebody is taking? Like it would require trusting them, which is just not really gonna work out, or like actually like controlling their dosage somehow, which is definitely not gonna work out. Can you just not have ADHD and play games competitively? That's the problem with these kids. Just wait for the drug scandals that the next Olympics will have on esports. Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, because guess what? Olympics, as you mentioned, they have added esports to their Olympic lineup. No, man. Thank you. That was good. No, it's so dumb. It's okay. So they have indeed officially. I'll check it out later, Zebrios. They have officially announced that they are going to be adding esports. They have archery, baseball, chess, cycling, dance, motorsport, sailing, tennis, and taekwondo, also known as real sports. So I went, we go to their page and they detail all the different games that they have, right? It's like archery, baseball, chess, cycling, etc. And I was like, okay, like what is the archery one? And it says draw, aim, and release. Oh, okay, cool. Press play. Let's see, what is it? Oh, it's going to show me here. Oh, here it is. How to participate. Register. The game is called Tic Tac Bow. P.S. I think all are mobile games. So let's see, Tic Tac Bow is a game you could download right now, so any one of you guys can be competing in the Olympics if you start practicing right now. There's baseball. We have a legit. Fuck it. This is an Olympic title. Okay. Tennis. Again, mobile game. There you go. This is so dumb. Here's the this one, at least this one, like, well, it's still a mobile game. At least it looks more like a sim than it does like some like cutesy character game. How much of these companies been paid to be added to the regular Olympics? So, as I think it was J.K. Kennedy, aka Freycore, in Discord, he posed the question of like, what is the history of these companies? And he went and he pulled up, I think it was the Tic Tac Bow Project 99. Project 99 was, I think, a company that essentially didn't exist beyond a few years ago or something like that. Or I didn't even bother looking into it, because when it comes to the Olympics and Could it be a scandal? I'm just gonna say yeah. Is there corrupt? Yeah. Is there corruption? Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. This game was probably made by like, you know, the Olympic commissioner's son or daughter, you know? The only project I know that exists is the one that remade EverQuest. This shit is almost as corrupt as FIFA. Yeah, isn't there some guy on the Olympic Committee who is a board member for at least 2 of the games? Is that the case, Valamir? I didn't see that. Unless I wonder if they keep him on the board because they want to make sure the game is not biased depending on who's playing or something like that. The eye roll is intense. It really is a lot. I gotta think 20,000 is a Tic Tac Bow and be impossible to beat. Man, what is there are some reviews already. 1.9, so not very good reviews. Let me see. Can I read the reviews online? Surely I can. Let me see. Update. Test your accuracy. Nah. Ratings, reviews. Let's see. I'm enjoying gameplay, but stop. Let me see. Did anybody say anything about see a bit buggy? How about Olympics? Olymp. There we go. Hopefully these issues can get resolved before the Olympic qualifiers wrap up. Oh, they're Olympic qualifying right now. God, this is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing that they're using these fucking games, man. There's so many games out there that you could use that's not this bullshit. Like, now it's like this is gonna be Tic Tac Bow is gonna be representative of like gamers and esports and shit. Come on. That company is owned by an Olympic bozo. Fuck, Tic Tac Bow and Virtual Taekwondo are made by the same company. For Virtual Taekwondo, you need a third-party controller that is also made by the same company. Oh, who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Why are they doing this to our community? It does feel like that. Yeah. Jeez. So I don't have the other games. I'm sure the other ones are probably equally as bad. Whatever the motorsport one is, I don't know. But the most boomer of boomer visions of what an esport is, exactly. This pretty much sums it up. Oh, and Just Dance is on the list too, by the way. There's no way to get the controller that you need. So when only one country shows up, what is it? Singapore? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing out a guess. Is it Singapore? It's a full indie console. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. The cycling is just stationary cycling. Of course it is. Yeah, dude. There's so many like really good strategic games that you could use. Like, they should have just brought in Brood War and just let the Koreans win for the first 20 years, and eventually somebody would figure it out and it would work out, right? Like, that's what they should. Cause it's a tried and true game. Tried and true. Could just work. Let's go back to SC2. I even go older. That's what I'm saying. It's got the history. They decided chess is an esport. Brood War, not something more modern like Age of Empires 2. Okay, I'll say Age of Empires 2 for you, Dimmy. That's a good one. That's a good one, Dimmy. It's a good one. At least chess is done through a well-known site. Is it chess.com? Probably. Is it? Fuck. Who knows? Okay, at least that's something. At least that's something. My summer car esport with who can build the car the fastest. Why not? Why not? Why don't we have like real sports like that? That shit's hard. Here they add chess where they test for butt plugs. Hey, what up, what's what? Yeah, they probably do. All right, so in more boring news, but I still thought it was kind of interesting. So check this out. So there's been like an ongoing and very difficult to follow case between Sony and Activision Blizzard and like every other government regulators in the world. And Sony's been doing everything they can to try to prevent Activision Blizzard from being absorbed into Microsoft because they say that they're going to lose too much in terms of market share, and it's too much of a monopoly. What was that first word I said? Too much of a monopoly for Activision Blizzard or for Microsoft. It's just too much, especially with games like Call of Duty. So Activision has been going out of their way trying to figure out ways to convince regulators that it's okay. Because look, we signed this 10-year agreement that we're going to bring this game to the Switch for the next 10 years on day one, and everything's going to be day one. So it's like they're trying everything they can, but meanwhile Sony does not want them to have to gain control over these major IPs, and these are huge IPs. So in this, we're gonna go section. It was a page 7, section D. Page 7, section D. This is a request that they put out trying to get. They have to share information, right? They have to share information with each other, and so this was in response to a request that Sony had to get information and paperwork and documents from Activision or from I think Microsoft, but at the same time they also did not want to disclose too much information from their part, right? So it says here, let me see, section 7, it's page 7, section D. So request to quash or limit subpoena in accordance with Exhibit H. So it says they've requested the court order to limit some of the requests made in a legal subpoena they received. So what they're saying is they got a legal subpoena for a bunch of documents they're supposed to turn over. They're like, no, it's a little bit too vague. But what they gave them was a document that explained some agreements they had with Microsoft while negotiating their objections to the subpoena. So they didn't really give them any reason not to give them the information. So they thought that was going to be enough to fly. And what happened was the judge basically ruled against it, said, nah, it's not really good enough. So you have to give up all your shit. And in these documentations, the documentation they have to turn over includes information about like exclusivity deals that they've signed in the past, other deals that they've made with publishers, and basically a lot of information, business, like not personal, but like secret business information you wouldn't necessarily want to share with your biggest competitor. And they've lost that argument. So now, exactly, reverse Uno play, and Sony wants to play a skip. You did that better than I did. That's exactly what it is. So this is one part in this huge machine that is this fight between the two. Mike's going to come back with, okay, make Final Fantasy not exclusive, and Sony's going to walk away. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they better hope they don't pull some crazy shit like that into the mix, but now that they have the documentation, they could probably see how much money that they have locked in for exclusivity on that stuff, and maybe they could just one up it, which would probably get Microsoft in more trouble. So if anything, this information just allows them to see into their competitors' finances and how much they budget for these exclusive deals. So I'm sure it's a lot of money. Like I mean, it's not like Sony's like lowballing them, and then Microsoft's gonna come in all Captain Save-A-Ho and like, here's a lot more money than they were giving you. Not gonna happen. Square has been looking for a buyer for a while now. Microsoft can totally step in. They better not push it. Look at all the trouble they're going through just to get Activision Blizzard on board. They're probably not gonna. I don't think they're gonna push their limit anytime soon. They'll wait like 10 years. They'll wait like 10 years. Sony is worried Xbox will find a way to sabotage Call of Duty on PlayStation. I only want the Microsoft Activision deal to go through because Bobby Kotick is supposed to leave after. That's pretty much where I'm at too. That's kind of where I'm at too. It's like. I don't. It's good and bad both ways, you know. I don't really want either one to happen, but if I was gonna vote for one, it's gonna be the one that gets rid of old Bobby. I'm for it as long as Microsoft accesses most of Activision staff, which they usually do. Yeah, they probably will do that. It's always possible for a Japanese company to be purchased by an outside company. Oh, okay, that makes sense too. Get that scumbag out of my Warcraft. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Please. I want WoW on my Xbox Game Pass. That's what people are saying, right? It was Overwatch and WoW and all that good stuff. Rock and roll racing. I'm not down for monopolies, but everyone would be better off working for Microsoft than Activision Blizzard at this point. Oh man. Speaking of, you got 90K ready to cash in. Oh, hold on. Well, I'll just let this play in the background because I haven't actually seen it yet. But Starfield, brand new Bethesda game, first brand new IP from Bethesda in 25 years. Has a new launch date. Originally, they said they were going to put it out first half of the year or something. They're saying that, yep, it's going to be delayed. They're looking at now. They have a date, September 6th, 2023. So take as long as you want to make the game as good as it can be, because no game will be under more scrutiny for bugs and issues than a Bethesda title. No game. They have to do everything they can because people will find the smallest possible thing to call out. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bethesda deserves it, right? They have a history. Objection, Star Citizen. Star Citizen is making more money not releasing, so they're never going to release. I wouldn't. Shit. I'll sign out those stupid monthly newsletters for the rest of my life that everyone gets. Star Citizen update blog or whatever. George Patterfield or whatever the hell the guy's name is. I don't know. Robert something Industries. Robert something. Pattinson. It'll be like Fallout 3 tram. That was just a dude with a train hat all over again. No. Yeah. Looking forward to the Internet Historian episode on this. Yeesh. So yeah, it's got a date. We'll see what happens. The date could or could not happen. We don't know. Just call him Dick. Speaking of dicks. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, City Action Creations. There's just something about the ambitious games that never get released and somehow always find ways to sell founders packs for years before they're closed down. Yeah. So, Mr. Beast has a new line of chocolate that's out on sales floors, retail store, Walmart, I think specifically, maybe other places. And he sent out a tweet and he said, "I need your help." He says, "Next time you see Feastables in Walmart and soon to be new retailers, if you could clean up the presentation and make it look better, that'd make me very happy." Crying sad face. "I'm building a team to do this routinely, just need help in the short term." And so people have responded. "Do it all the time for you already, bro. When I actually see them in my Walmart, thank you. Easy." Lots of hearts. They said being able to tweet something like this and have it make an actual impact on shelf space is a key reason why I think creative brands will dominate shelf space this decade. No typical chocolate brand could get the consumers to care enough to do this. And then it says it has to be the right creator, though. Mr. Beast is special. Brilliant! Crowdsourcing the cleanup. An amazing way to take care of the problem within your own influence. Proud of you. Watch out, Hershey's is a new and better way of doing things. I'm sorry. All right. So as somebody who's worked at a grocer and worked retail, fuck you. All right. There's no fucking way. Like, I understand he's probably just doing it because it's like a first time thing. He wants people to like help and all that stuff. Like maybe his heart's in the right place. I'm sure for everything he does, his heart's in the right place, right? But random customer facing your products, yeah. Walmart employee will never even notice somebody has faced it for them. Oh, of course not. As someone who did planos and shelf stocking, fuck even trying to keep them straight, people are gonna come fuck it up 30 seconds after they finish. Yeah, or somebody will intentionally come by and fuck it up 30 seconds after you finish, like this guy here. He says, "Mr. Beast, I will continue destroying your chocolate displays until you pay me $100,000. I mean, I don't recommend this. Also, what the fuck is the chocolate doing here by the Axe spray? What the hell? Hot new drop. He says, "Please comply. I don't want to hurt you again. I just threw a whole box of your chocolate in the thing that keeps the rotisserie chickens warm. They melted all over everything, and I heard the manager that Walmart isn't going to carry Feastables anymore." I'm hearing Mr. Beast uses slave labor to make his Feastables chocolate. Woo, man, word is spreading. Oh, fourth Mr. Beast. Oh, God. Don't do this. Okay, I'm not saying this is a good thing. Don't go and do this. I'm just saying that's... I guess that Mr. Beast simply for that ad where he fucking yelled at me and I couldn't understand. Instantly skip. Oh, man. He's taunting me. Yeah, here it is. To show how grateful I am that everybody helped tidy things up. Titty things up. I didn't notice that the first time I read that. I'm going to donate $100,000 to Titty Charity. What charity should I donate to? Appreciate you all. Was that the same picture someone else posted just in reverse order? I don't think so, but maybe another one. Yeah, like they started with the one in the. Well, where'd it go? It's gone. How generous a tax write-off for yourself. Yeah, I mean, like I understand that Mr. Beast is just trying to be a nice guy and all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure he's probably a nice guy and all that shit, but you know, come on, any titty charity will do. Any titty charity will do. That's right. All right, we're done. Dang, that's it for them. That's it for the news. Shablow. Thank you, everybody. My lovely chat. Also, Darnell. Hold on a second. Hey, Darnell, why don't you say goodbye to everybody and thank them for watching the news today, please? Mr. Beast, legitimate, one of the nicer creators. I believe that. I believe it. I still think he's weird, but maybe it's because he's just a normal person that got rich, and I'm used to like rich people being fucking assholes. I think I just made it all make sense, actually. All right, chat. Thank you again for hanging out. You guys the best.
It's been a pleasure chatting with y'all today. Take care and have a good one.
Thank you for watching, chat. Hang out for a little bit. I'm gonna see you guys in a minute. Wow.